Oh man, well, The Boys season 3 finally wrapped up, and man, I gotta say, I love the show, right? The Boys is definitely one of my favorite shows right now. But honestly, y'all need to just read, right? People need to read more. They need to go out and buy comics again and just learn about what the origin of these shows are. You know what I mean? Like, just remember, okay, The Boys is already a comic book. All these characters' backstories, stories, and futures are already fleshed out. The stories are already told. So anything that this show is doing, they are, you should either expect, or if they change it, they're changing it because they felt that they needed to change it for whatever reason. But I want to actually start reading the boys' comics because honestly, as I watch all these videos on these characters from the show, everyone keeps talking about how if the show was really done the way the comics were, the show would never have got off the ground. Amazon would never have been able to make it. Eric Kripke would never have been able to make the adaptation as faithful as he has. And it's so unfortunate because I really do like the show. I'm not going to say I don't. There's only been 3 seasons, for fuck's sake, 8 episodes each. So this season, everyone's saying it being the best one. I mean, all right, I guess, for sure. Considering compared to the last season, it wasn't that great. The whole Nazi stuff coming out at the end. It's like, all right, whatever. But this season, it was pretty cool. But there's a lot of things going on that I was very, well, I mean, I didn't really have that many issues with this season, but it did seem like it was kind of sluggishly moving, like they didn't quite use everyone like I thought they were going to. And I will say it was pretty funny how Butcher's Compound V powers ended up just happening to match Homelander's. That was lucky. And Huey was able to teleport, which kind of just like made him more of the butt end of jokes, making him naked and, because his clothes wouldn't stay on him. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool, right? I was like, all right, this was a good season. I'm excited to see what happens next season. Like, fuck yeah. But then I start seeing all these other articles and videos coming out about the political side entering the show and the politics entering the show or whatever. And it's like, what? Like, I didn't expect it, but I kind of saw it. But to have it be actually laid out and said, it's messed up. It's like, fuck, I was thinking these things, but I didn't really think that I was validated, and all of a sudden you have YouTubers like Disparu.
Don't worry, because Homelander has always meant to represent him. I'll admit to being a little more bold this season than I have in past seasons, because we know nobody wants this in entertainment. So we lured in the audience with an entirely different show, and then we just pulled the mask off to reveal our degenerate, rotting faces.
Check out his video on The Boys where he breaks down all these articles that are coming out, and it's like, bro, we just want to watch this show because we like the comics, right? Like, Eric Kripke is the creator of Supernatural, another long time running show, or just a long time running show, one of my favorite shows, that deals with men and men dealing with their shit and fighting and doing things like that. And he's over here saying that The Boys is fighting now toxic masculinity that has like never been there with Soldier Boy and blah, blah, blah. And fucking Trump is Homelander. I was going to call him Homeboy. Homelander is supposed to be Trump. And it's like, oh, fuck off. Like, come on, Eric Kripke. Like, you realize that Supernatural was like toxic at its core, I guess, if you think about it, but everyone still loved the show. A lot of people still connected with either Sam or Dean and enjoyed the relationship and the styles of both of those characters. And now you're gonna sit over here saying that you're dealing with toxic masculinity and dealing with changing Soldier Boy's whole backstory to have an abusive father and that he's Homelander's father and that he should have been there and that's how men become toxic because of whatever. And it's like, oh my god, like, you guys are crazy. You couldn't just use the actual comic of the show to mix all this in. I mean, first of all, the way they didn't kill Soldier Boy at the end, right? Like, I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, wow, you put him back on ice. You just went in a whole circle for this whole season, right? Like, Butcher got powers, couldn't kill Homelander. Can't have powers anymore because he's going to die. You had Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy could have killed Homelander, went and blew up everybody. I guess that was the whole toxic masculinity thing, was that he had PTSD and he didn't even really fight many people. He just blew up, got really angry and blew up and passed out. And at the end, when Maeve like sacrifices herself, quote unquote, he blows up and apparently gets kidnapped again and put on ice. Like, what the shit? Sometimes he passes out, sometimes he doesn't. Like, when he kills Crimson Countess, he just kind of walks away from that. He doesn't just pass out and then all of a sudden he passes out here. And then it's ridiculous because they don't kill Maeve, right? Like, I get it that in the comics she's supposed to have her fucking head ripped off, right? And in the show she just ends up surviving and gets a nice little like exit, and she's supposed to, I guess, come back. But it's like, there's an article literally where they're like, oh, we weren't going to, he's like, I was not going to be the guy that killed off the LGBT character. It's like, dude, fuck off. You made her, well, she was, I think, like, gay and stuff in the comics, but you made her more important than she is supposed to be. So you not killing her is even showing that you don't even care about the comics. You're like, okay, I know she died this pretty brutal, epic death, but like, we're not going to do that because she's too empowered and she's obviously one of the good guys. The only girls on the 7 are good, so she's one of the good guys and we can't have her die. And it's just like, bruh, that's whack. All right, I'm surprised they put in Starlight's whole like BJ scene and entry into the 7, but she only does it to the deep instead of like the whole team. But Black Noir is supposed to be in on that too, into that BJ scene too. And in the end of the show, when Homelander kills him because he didn't like tell him that he had a son, it's like, what the shit? They also changed that from the comic, because apparently in the comic he's like a clone of Homelander, looks exactly like him, but has this suit on to like cover his identity, so you don't know that's who he is. No one knows who he is. And it turns out that he was made solely to kill Homelander in case Homelander ever went off the rails, but he never does. So Black Noir pretty much loses his mind. And then at the end, when he reveals to Homelander that he is in fact Homelander, he was the one that actually raped Billy Butcher's wife and was the father of Ryan, the show version Ryan, but the kid, that was all, it was all changed for the show, all changed. So, I have to see and read these comics, original boys comics, to just get the story straight, because even Huey, my boy Jack Quaid, I love him as an actor. I think he should just do more movies and more roles and stuff. He's a pretty interesting actor. I think he can do a lot. But he, being Huey seems completely different in the comics. He's a completely another character in the comics compared to in the show. So I really need to just check it out so I can see what's up and what exactly they're changing and what they haven't. I know that Victoria Newman has been race swapped, which, boom, there you go. If fucking Homelander is Trump, I guess Kamala is supposed to be Victoria Newman, but it doesn't make any sense because, if Bobby Singer is supposed to be Biden, and then she's gonna somehow pop his head for whatever reason, either he's incompetent or she needs to pop his head to become president. Why is she defending Trump? Does that mean that really Biden and Kamala were behind Trump the whole time? Like, they're there, and everyone's now confused that Trump's that Homelander's a villain. That's like, fucker's always been a villain. All right, he's been a villain since like the first season. But I don't know. Anyway, yeah, just got to check out the real comics. Check out the boys if you haven't, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are, because it's one of the best. It's one of the top shows on Amazon. But otherwise, yeah, check out the comics so you can actually see the story for what it is and what it is supposed to be. And on that side of comics, because the comic industry is thriving so well, but it's also in the trash. Also, we got to support my boy Young Rippa, Eric July, over at Young Rippa 59 on YouTube, another great YouTuber. He's got his comic book coming out now with Isom. Looks fantastic. So support the RippaVerse, support the comic book industry, support the original comics that these shows and adaptations are being pulled from unfaithfully, sometimes faithfully, but mostly unfaithfully. And yeah, see what they got to offer. But yeah, remember, check out the RippaVerse and check out the boys comics and the Amazon show. This has been Ghost on the Craig. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.